Okay, how's everyone doing? Awesome. Well, I'm not here to give you an infomercial. I'm actually going to tell you some things that might actually help you in your life. So that's exciting. I'll bring you throughout my journey. I call it Consciousness and Currency. You know, growing up, we didn't have much money. You know, I was the oldest of 4 kids. My mom's in the crowd here. Say hi to Tina in the front. And she was a single mom, you know, so we were in government housing out in Canada, and she gave me this book. Show of hands, who read this book? Yeah, awesome. Super exciting, super inspiring at the age of 13. Well, you could imagine after going through this information, going back to high school, learning what I was learning there didn't pay off very well. So I left high school right after this. The book said, hey, get into sales. And I was a very introverted kid. My mom can tell you. I mean, I was a mute. I didn't talk to many people. So the book said, get into sales. I thought, okay, that's going to be pretty tough, especially when I don't have a resume, 13 years old. So at 14, I had a friend. He said, hey, I just got this job at the newspapers, selling subscriptions. I said, selling? Okay, I'm in. So we get picked up in this like old rickety van after school, and you get into this like creeper van, just trusting that your life is going to be okay as a 13, 14-year-old kid. And they hand you this script, and you got to memorize this script. You got 20 minutes before you get out to the territory where you're going to go door to door. Okay. She said, I get $10 if I memorize a script by the end of the night on my training night. I said, done. So I memorized it, and I was listening to the guys go through the script. And the very first thing that I learned about sales was no one wants to be sold. Like, absolutely. Anyone want to be sold? Anyone? No, but we all love to buy, right? So what I realized is that the guy that I was shadowing, they call it, learning from, he sounded very scripted. He memorized that script all right. And by the end of the night, I said, you know what, just let me try this. And I didn't even memorize it yet. I just started talking to people. I said, hey, we got this newspaper thing. We're doing it for school. You want to help us out? And people started buying. So the lesson there is just be like a normal person. Be a friend. All of you are in sales no matter what you're doing. You're selling yourself. If you're an employee, you're selling yourself to the employer to get a job, right? A lot of people came up to our booth wanting a better job, an opportunity, a promotion. Okay, well, you better sell me why we want to hire you, right? So, and you got the people that come in and this, like, they memorize their elevator pitch, right? And you're like, when is this fucking over? Like, just talk to me like a normal human being. So that's the first level of communication, okay? That's my biggest lesson from sales. Who's seen this before? The cash flow quadrant. Okay, how many entrepreneurs, investors in the room? Okay. So the very first thing I learned after getting into sales, well, I got to get on the right side of the quadrant. That's where everything that I wanted was. That's where all the freedom was. That's where all the wealth was. Well, guess what? Oh, the risk is on that side too. How many of you love risk? Awesome, right room. Many people don't. I know we're at a crypto expo, but many people hate risk. I mean, our specialty is in AI trading, and we also do banking, which is totally boring to me. But the amount of people that came up to our booth, and as soon as we said we specialize in investing, they said, oh, well, what else do you do? Because they're absolutely terrified of investing. And it's like, you know, they don't have much to lose anyways. The hell are you terrified of? You know? But if you don't start learning and you don't start investing, you're never going to build any wealth. You're never going to have any freedom for yourself. Now, crypto, I don't have to talk about the risk in crypto. Obviously, it's the highest level risk there is. That's why I love it. That's why I'm doing it, because I love roller coasters. So last night, I'm sure some of you know, Ethereum pumped up pretty nice while we were on the yacht. That's cool. So either you're building your own system or you're investing, or a combination of the two. You could be a high-level employee, but you better be investing your excess money. Because if you don't, you're always going to be trading your time for money. You're never going to have any freedom. So success loves speed. Anyone like to go fast? I know this guy does. That's another thing I see people slowing down, especially if you're an entrepreneur. You know, the first of the market wins. I'm not even reading my slides. I'm not even paying attention to those, but you guys can. And cash wants to flow, right? So it is all about speed. It's all about innovation. It's all about how fast you're making moves. And as a startup, it's fun because you get to keep doing that. Well, why do the big companies end up dying? It's because they stop doing that, right? Look at the example of Blockbuster versus Netflix. Classic example. What happened? Netflix goes to Blockbuster. Hey, we got this idea. We got digital copies of the movies. We'll sell you our company for $50 million. Blockbuster laughed them out of the room. No, people love going to the store. They love the synchronicity of meeting their neighbor and getting the popcorn. It's like, well, how did that work out? Blockbuster ended up failing, and Netflix ends up being a $50 billion company. So make sure you're always making moves. I barely ask any questions. Someone tells me they have a solution, awesome. When can we do it? Let's go. Not, okay, well, how much is it going to cost? And I gotta compare it with all my other options. And like, do you have a track record and all? No, it's like, I either trust you or I don't. And if I trust you, let's do it. And let's do it today. So I'll give you an example. We just flew to Dubai 2 weeks ago. We just moved here. Didn't plan on being at the Expo. 6 days ago, get the invite. Okay, let's do a booth. 6 days preparation. 2 days after that, they said, hey, we got a couple of speaking spots. You want to speak? Yeah. Okay, now I got to figure out all the things that come along with that, right? But you just say yes and you figure it out. Not, oh, okay, well, all these questions, and they just slow you down. It's like speed bumps. It's like having a Ferrari stuck at a traffic light. What's good a Ferrari in traffic? So AI obviously being the future. I've been in it for 10 years doing AI trading. I had a friend call me and say, hey, I got this artificial intelligence for the foreign exchange market, and I thought he was talking Chinese, but all I heard was money, technology, and a way for passive income. Awesome. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I completely changed the business and career that I was doing at the time on the spot. On the spot. And it worked out. It worked out really well. And the amount of people that I told in my entire network, hey, like, this thing is a robot making you money. They wouldn't even fucking try it. Crazy. You'd show them all the results, all the months of positive profit. Didn't matter. No, I don't know. I'm going to keep it safe in the bank for 1% a year, maybe. Inflation's killing you at 10% a year, 20% during COVID. I use the example of ChatGPT. One of our guys, he's in the room here. Will. Where's Will? Put your hand up, buddy. That's our COO. The reason he's COO is because of how fast he moves. When ChatGPT came out, he was the first one using that. The first one. Like, he had no hesitation. And what did it do? Replaced 10 other employees that were doing low-level work. So you gotta stay up with the trends. You just have to, or you're going to be obsolete. Or working for someone else at minimum wage. All right, so invest in the future, gave those examples. Obviously, crypto is the future. It's the now for many of us. I mean, I bought Bitcoin in 2015, so that did okay. And now it's like the latest thing is meme coins. And you talk about someone doing Forex at 5-10% a month, they think it's, holy shit, that's crazy risk. And then you show them, did a meme coin 3 days ago, 236% in 2.5 hours. They're like, I can't even fucking imagine that. But Dubai is a great place to be. This is why we moved here, because the leaders are forward thinking. They're not politicians, they're entrepreneurs. That's the difference. So they embraced blockchain. It was the first government that I know of that embraced blockchain. Then when El Salvador said, hey, we're going to make Bitcoin our national currency, I said, we got to go there. We went to cafes. There was little food carts that were offering to pay Bitcoin for your coffee. This is going back 3 years ago. And then Michael Saylor, I love him. Who knows Michael Saylor? Awesome. He was the first one to put it all on the line. He put billions of dollars into Bitcoin. Billions. 98% of his hedge fund, of his company, into Bitcoin. Talk about balls. Talk about risk. Paid off. Then he gave Elon a call and said, hey, I think you should do the same thing for Tesla. Okay, we'll do a little bit. And we'll never sell it. And then they did. Nothing against Elon, love him. So talking about moving fast, this is a big idea that maybe some of you didn't come for, but I'm going to give it to you. This chart right here is the consciousness chart. This is why I'm all in pink, because the top of the consciousness is pink. It's color-coded. What you need to know is that 80% of the population on the planet right now is under the level of 200. Under the level of 200 out of 1,000. And there's actually a chart that goes to infinity, but I'll stop at 1,000 today. So the reason why COVID was so popular is because most people are vibrating at 100. You scare them and they buy that program real quick. Now, how do you get to the highest levels? That's the real question. Well, I was on a search the last few years to do that. I need some water. If someone can pass me some water, that'd be awesome. I found this gentleman in the front row here with the other pink suit, Don Smith, what I would coin as the master of consciousness. This guy in 2 hours took me from where I was hanging out most of my life at 125. I had all sorts of addictions, alcohol. Thank you. 125, and in just over 2 hours, and he slowed it down for me, by the way. Just over 2 hours, I was over the level of 700. That was 4 years ago, April 2020. I haven't let the guy leave my sight ever since then. Because you can imagine how absolutely everything shifts in your existence when you go from 100 to 700. The traditional system talks about self-awareness. You could put it in that category. When I first met Don, he said, your negative beliefs and your positive beliefs are all toxic. So what? I've been trying to get from negative to positive my entire life. I did Tony Robbins at 16. Did 16 years of personal development before I met you. What the fuck are you talking about? Sure enough, he was right. And now it's a deep knowing. There's zero fear, so talk about speed. Imagine if you had no fear. Imagine if you had no fear in your business, in your investments, with your life partner. I mean, with everything. Imagine that. Playing small, yeah. Victim consciousness. I used to be a victim. Love to blame everything else. Well, when I took Don's program, you can't get away with blaming anything. All of a sudden, you're fully responsible for every single thing in your life. Even what he said, she said, he did, she did. You created it all. So use that in your business and see how that works out. Now, this helped me a lot. I did the spiritual work, the energy shifted with Don, and then this was in perfect alignment on the physical. Who's done fasting before? Okay. Some of you aren't going to believe this, but I've been fasting for 78 days straight. 78 days I haven't had a piece of food. Thank you for the claps. I'm going to run a little overtime. Is that okay? Okay. So I went to Liquid Airing and I saw this chart over the years, I went from omnivore, I was meat and potatoes in Canada. I moved down to California. I found out about the vegan thing, did that back 2010. Then I went raw. Then I did 2 years of fruit. And when I saw this liquidarian, I said, I haven't tried that. Got to do that. I made the decision that day, 78 days ago, March 4th, right after a pizza. Actually, right before. I was at the gym. Made the decision, said I'm going to have a pizza for the last meal, and boom. Haven't had anything for 78 days. Now, why is that important? Imagine the connection that you have. Everyone's talking about creativity, inspiration, intelligence. Imagine having a pure connection, no speed bumps, to infinite intelligence. Imagine how that changes your life. So that's it. I download nonstop. Infinite downloads all day long. Got to do this, boom, 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 boom. Everything just aligns out perfectly. There is no work in that. It's all synchronicity. So we're very community driven. I've always built communities because I think, hey, whatever I learn, I want to share it with everyone that I care about. So that's why we build networks. Put together this, we're launching it here. We're doing a yacht event. Tonight, by the way, any of you got to go to our booth, but we'll give you an invite for tonight, 7 p.m. if you want to come on the yacht, talk a little bit more about consciousness, liquidarian, all that good stuff. But we live in Dubai now, so we'll be doing this every month. We'll be having events. And then you can follow me on social media, and you ask me any crazy questions you want. My WhatsApp's at the bottom, so if you text me, you're welcome to come. Until we max out at 50, so first come, first serve. Anyway, thank you guys for your time. Hope you got something. See ya.